UNPAVED, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.
To me, Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's done more with less than any player at that position we've ever had.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Unpaved with Sean Salisbury. I'm Adam Sager. You can follow him at Sean Unfiltered, me at Adam G. Sager. Follow the show at Unpaved on Rumble, and make sure you go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Unpaved Sean Salisbury. Sean, we got a lot to talk about today, from the college football playoff rankings, and the new head chairman, Hunter Yurachek, just word salad of garbage that he threw out in his 2-minute interview he did with Reese Davis. We've got talking about the Chiefs and the Bills, and then another Bill we're going to talk about, who both you and I for years have, agreed that he is the greatest football coach we've ever seen. Well, he's off doing some other stuff. We'll talk about that later. And we had some good college hoops last night. We got more tonight. So it's a fun time right now in the sports landscape. And how you feeling today on this Wednesday?
I feel good, man. There is a lot going on, and it's that time of year. And you mentioned Belichick, which we'll get to, and some good college hoops last night. But right now, it's all about football. And that committee, Segs, and I loved what Tulane's head football coach had to say. And some people are going to have a problem with it, but it's refreshing. It is absolutely refreshing that we finally had a coach speak the truth, not only about, sports in general, but about his football team.
Yeah.
And if your feelings get hurt, oh, well, he's coaching them every day. What a novel concept, right? So I'm really looking forward to discussing that in this show and seeing where we go, among other things, the NFL and then with these rankings in college football about, like I said, it's all fine and dandy, but it's going to take a damn near miracle for them to get in. The University of Texas is one of them, even with a win over Texas A&M, if they're able to pull that off. And at the holiday season with Thanksgiving coming up, the Lane Kiffin situation and journey, I would imagine everybody would like that done before the Egg Bowl kicks in next week.
Yeah, it's such a weird situation. But last night, we get the playoff rankings come out, as they do every single Tuesday night, in between some good college basketball last night. And your top stays the same: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. Georgia jumps up with their beat down at Texas. Bama falls with their loss to OU. Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon. So you got your 3 undefeated at the top. Then you have your next tier of 1-loss teams in Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon. And then you got your group of 2-loss teams, starting with Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama. So when Hunter Yurachek comes on with Reese Davis, and again, what does 2 minutes do for you? Like, he barely answers anything in 2 minutes. I don't understand why it's that long. But he's asked about the Notre Dame Miami situation. Miami sits at 13 with 2 losses, and he talks about their losses. Notre Dame also has 2 losses. So he brings up their losses, saying Miami's lost to 2 unranked teams. Notre Dame's lost to 2 teams in the top 13. Never mentions that Miami is one of those teams that beat Notre Dame, and just basically says that we're just looking at the losses right now between those two. They're not on the same tier. when you hear that, do you agree with him? Do you think that head-to-head matchup should matter more? Where do you stand on this Notre Dame Miami thing that Hunter Yurachek basically blew up the internet with his first question from Reese Davis?
Well, for me, one is I don't know why the criteria matters any different from team 21 and 22 than it would team 1 and 2. The criteria. When you mentioned that Notre Dame Miami, we're just looking at the losses because they're in a different tier. What does that have to do with anything? Every one of those teams up there has, some are out of it, but they still have hopes to get into a playoff, or that's the goal. So why are we judging Ohio State because they're in a different tier than you would be judging Illinois? Shouldn't there be a base? I guess what I'm trying to ask you, do we have a base criteria? Do any of us know the base criteria? I'm sitting here listening last night and listening to McElroy and those guys and Galloway and Reese talk. And, 1 second, and rightfully so, they're talking about, well, the quality of, good loss, bad loss, or the quality of the win. They're kind of going over it all. But we're just in a big old motor pool of melting pot of where's the criteria? So when you're judging University of Notre Dame and University of Miami, so you're judging them different. Put it this way. Let's say everybody has 2 losses. So are we judging the second tier of 2 losses different than the first tier of 2 losses? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's what he told us, because Miami has 2 losses, Notre Dame has 2 losses. It doesn't make sense.
But why? Why? Well, what's the difference? I mean, and we can argue this now. Do I disagree? Right now, if Notre Dame played Miami today, who's better? I think Notre Dame's a better football team.
I do too.
The eye test is better. But, if you're going to do that, now you're just peeing in our face and telling us rain. Okay, I understand Notre Dame's losses came to 2 top 13 teams. I get it. But let's not forget that one of those top teams that they played was the University of Miami, correct? There you go. And that's your point. So my whole thing, Segs, is what you'd tell any organization, or if I was coaching a football team or players or running an organization, or our show, when we're pre-show meeting, when we hire people, when I bring people, when you came on and I came on, what's one of the first things we talk about? Defining our role, right? It's the way it is with everything. So what's the role of the committee? And what is the criteria? If I don't know what the criteria is, how can I define what answer I'm looking for? So you're asking me if head-to-head matters. You're damn right it matters. My head-to-head win should matter more than an unranked loss. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yes.
My head-to-head win over you should matter more. The fact that I lost to the 27th ranked team in the country, but I beat the team that lost to 2 teams, me being one of them, that is ranked higher than me. Let's say the eye test was. Let me ask. Okay, let's go from the eye test for 1 second here, Segs, because I know we got a lot to cover. Has Ohio State passed the eye test most of the time? Right. Yes. Forget who they're playing.
Yes.
Indiana. Damn. Not only have they passed the eye test, Indiana has gone on the road and beat some good teams. Bingo. Texas A&M, they've passed it.
Yes.
They've struggled at times against Arkansas and last week where they had to come from behind and win as well. But they did win. So how do you look at it? Impressive. It's like the Denver Broncos in the NFL. I was asked a question in an interview last night. Well, the Broncos, offensively? I mean, they play close games. Or they beat a couple good teams, but their defense is at the top of the league. So do you judge Denver Broncos by, if we had a committee judging as opposed to win-loss to get in, if you had a committee judging, are you judging the Denver Broncos highly because they win close games and come from behind and they know how to win? Or are you judging them poorly because their offense kind of flounders around and isn't consistent? Which one is it? I know on teams I've been on in a locker room, our growth and our confidence gained more from winning any way we could as opposed to looking pretty during a win. Does that make sense? So as you go through the eye test, Georgia passed the eye test, Texas Tech, no doubt. Ole Miss, Oregon, I can go through. So if we go through the eye test, then you can start to get down and say, well, SC's passed the eye test at times, Tennessee at times. But so the eye test first, but what is the criteria? If I don't know what it is, how am I judging who to put? So does Notre Dame get a different treatment than Vanderbilt does?
Seems like it.
I'm not talking about where they're ranked now. Notre Dame should be ahead of Vandy. I'm talking about, would you be saying the same thing if Vandy was in the 9 hole and Notre Dame was in the 14 hole? That's what I want to know. So the criteria, Notre Dame could go win the whole thing. But I don't like the way you said, well, second tier, we judged the second tier different. Why? Shouldn't there be at least 7 or 8 criteria that you must follow? Then the rest comes from, okay, They got beat by the 70th best team in the country, while the other team lost to the 4th best team. Pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
But in the Miami Notre Dame thing, it's a slippery slope. But what leads you to the conclusion? You can't just tell me, well, we treat them different because, well, they're on a second tier. I'm treating every single friggin' team that's in a playoff hunt the same way criteria-wise. Of course, I'm not judging how good they are the same way because Ohio State's kicking Texas's ass, okay, as we sit right now. So it did set the internet on fire, but Segs, we come up with this. What in the world are we looking at? What's do you have a problem with the first 5?
No.
Do you have a problem with the second 5?
Ole Miss, Oregon. No, I mean, I think we.
I could argue that Notre Dame and OU could be flip-flopped maybe, or even though OU been impressive win. But listen to what they did too. They took into account. Think about this. Heavy account. Is there a consistency with this? You tell me. I'm asking the question. I think I kind of know for me, but they took, and I listened to Galloway and Greg McElroy talk about this. They took into OU losing their quarterback, the injury to the quarterback, and their losses. It feels like into heavier account than they did some teams' wins. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So OU, which had a couple, but they took into account, well, our starting quarterback wasn't there. Would Vanderbilt be getting the same treatment? So I'm just why the committee is there a standard that goes by? Maybe I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
I just don't know the standard of voting or what our criteria is to get to the 12.
And here's, and you just bring up another layer when you talk about, okay, now you're talking about OU because they lose them a tier. And then, okay, well, those losses maybe don't hurt as bad because we're not going to hold them in such a high regard, their losses, because they didn't have John here.
But isn't part of it getting a scholarship player that steps in and plays good football behind the guy? I'm still judging the team based on, Florida State already suffered through this. We saw it. But in truth, Florida State should not have been punished, in my opinion, for losing their quarterback. Now, they were going to punish themselves because they weren't very good without him.
Right.
But do we really punish? Oh, my job as a recruiter and an organization, Segs, and a coaching staff is to get everybody ready to play. That's my job. I got to judge the whole body of work, and I understand you're without him, but you still got beat.
Right.
You still didn't play well against Texas with a guy who probably shouldn't have played because he was banged up. But he played, so I got to judge him like I would any 100% healthy quarterback, correct or incorrect?
No, correct. And that's where I'm wondering right now. We don't know the health of Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate on Ohio State. Both. Jeremiah Smith could barely walk off the field last week. Carnell Tate was out.
So if they lose, are we like, it's okay, Ohio State lost because their other player was only 80% healthy?
Right. So, or what happens if Fernando Mendoza goes down with a season-ending injury? Do we drop them because now they don't have Mendoza? They don't have the Heisman favorite. So are we going to, let's say they win out.
Move them to 6 instead of 4.
Yeah.
Instead of 2, right? Well, they don't have the guy who's going to be the first pick of the draft, so we got to punt. See what I'm saying? It's selective punishment.
Exactly.
And that's what bothers me. We don't have a uniformed listen, I understand when you get past the 10th criteria, but for the first ones, did they pass this? 13 people, yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Eye test, this. And you can't be selective for one team and not the same criteria for the next, which bothers me big time. It just does.
Well, and then, so your check goes on, he comes on with Reese for the 2 minutes, like I mentioned. Then he goes to a call with other reporters. And on the call, he's talking about Alabama's rushing performance last week. He's talking about their rushing performance a couple weeks ago. Now we're talking about run games. Like, no, that's not what this is. You're not looking at their run games and saying, okay, well, Notre Dame's run game's better than Alabama, so we're going to put them at 9 and Alabama at 10. No, you got to look. And then they go on to say, Oregon is still getting credit for their Penn State win, even though Penn State fell off, yet other teams aren't getting credit for wins against, say, Clemson. Let's just,
why? Because they're force feeding who they want to be in certain positions, whether it's travel well or the teams that are going to draw the great ratings. And you can tell me all you want. This is not like a mediator. I'm a certified mediator in the state of Texas. I can't go into a meeting choosing a side if I'm going to mediate something. I can't go in choosing with a premeditated idea. Well, this one's going to be better because I like kids, or I like dogs more than I like the owner of the dog, whatever it is, or I like this business because I've used it in the past more than this. Basically, you can't go in with bias. You're going to tell me that there's no bias in this? I disagree 100%.
Well,
so you're exactly right. So I'm getting credit for a victory. I'm getting credit with a victory over a Penn State team, but somebody else isn't. And then we're choosing running game against Alabama. Listen, Alabama's running game's been subpar, 3+ yards a game all year long. But if you're winning, so I'm now I got 13 people, which the majority of them are not experts on the X's and O's. They're just not. They're experts on the business, and they got PhDs and all that stuff. The majority of them. Some maybe a former, whoever's on this year's. I mean, I go through it once in a while, but I can't tell you the names of all of them. But we know all I got to do is push a button and get it. But my point is, so now you're going to judge. When if I sat you in a meeting, all 13 of you, and said, okay, you're judging Alabama's run game. Get up on the board and draw me why the run game's struggling. So now we're choosing units. So if the punter sucks, don't we got to give the special teams get a third, offense, defense, special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So if the punting game is struggling, or your field goal kicker's missed 4 of his last 6 field goals under 40 yards, when you're standing in that meeting and you're going through the criteria for 13 committee members, you're actually going to say, well, guess what, man? Their field goal kicker's struggling. He's on scholarship. He's struggling. They should be 7th instead of 6th. We're there now. Yeah. That's the criteria. Listen, if Alabama wins and doesn't run for 8 yards, they'll eventually get beat. I can't judge. I understand personnel, but in truth, would it be fair to judge Indiana if they lost their quarterback like you did Florida State and say, well, they're no longer any good? But by judging running games at Alabama, if somebody gets hurt for Oregon or USC, you drop us 5 slots even if we win, or drop 3 slots because, well, if you get into the playoff, you don't have to start a quarterback. That's why we got 5 of those motherfuckers on scholarship, so the second guy can play. So I just don't get the criteria. What's good for one isn't good for the other. That's why it goes back to this. You cannot have current athletic directors or administrators for a school or a conference on a 13-team committee and save it. Quit talking to me about run games. That ain't the criteria. Well, Alabama's run game. Have they won 9 of their games? Yes. They've lost what, twice? Okay. How are the quality of their losses, the eye test, the win? How are they doing? They got beat by this team. How good was this team when they came in? All those things. Don't come at me. If they stand up there and say, well, we just thought Alabama's run game was worse than the team behind them, so we have them at 10 and BYU's at 11. But, man, BYU's run game rushed for 280 next week, so they're gonna jump them if both win. Is that how we're going now? Yeah, I got a real problem because you know what? You know when people they don't give you the full answer to the question, they kind of just skirt around it. There's a reason, because they don't have a full answer. They know that they're damn wrong. That's exactly right.
Let me ask you this question about it. So, we get these rankings, and, when you look at the bottom of the rankings, when you talk about Texas, Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee, Houston, Arizona State, we know these teams aren't making the playoff. Would you rather them come out every single week like they do, starting whenever they start, and say, okay, here's the teams that can make the playoff? And if you have 25 and you want to rank them, fine. But as we get more down the field, like right now, let's just say we've got 19 teams. Let's rank those 19 teams that we think have a shot, because we're not putting a 3-loss Texas in. We're not putting a 3-loss Tennessee in. We're going to, we say these teams do not have the path to the college football playoff. So let's just take them out of the equation the whole way. Who cares where they're ranked? Let's look at who's left. So if we have 19 teams, you rank them, and then you say, okay, here's your 19 teams that can fit into this 12-team playoff. And that includes Tulane, James Madison. I'm blanking on the other team that's right there with them that could make it as the group of 5 team, which is another discussion that I want to have. But would you rather see them do that and then say, okay, now we've got, just for example, let's say OU's playing BYU, whatever. Okay. This game is a game that is going to drop them off the rankings. It's going to take them out of the college football playoff hunt, as we see in NFL Sundays all the time. who's in the hunt. That's what I want, instead of giving me the top 25. And I know 6 of these teams aren't even in the discussion.
Yeah.
Give me the teams that are in the discussion every single week.
Have some expert go Joe Lenardi on that. Maybe they do behind the scenes, but here's your 15 teams. And here's the other 10, like Arizona State is not getting in.
Right.
So to put them at 25, you could say, here's the best of the rest, but they have no chance to get in. Let's talk about the ones that do. And then how about setting the scene of scenarios? Like you said, let's say OU was playing BYU this week. Mm-hmm. If one of these two loses, and here's what we're looking at, boom, 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 they're out, and they're not going to get in. University of Texas, I would love somebody to get there and give me a soliloquy on why you can think University of Texas still has a chance. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if University of Texas is sitting where they are, let's say Virginia was just using this as an example, where Texas is, and Virginia went and beat Texas A&M, Virginia's still not getting in. Let's say they were in the SEC. They're not getting in. Right. Is this blue blood because Texas's preseason ranking and who they are? And I love the Longhorns, but let's face facts. The eye test alone after 3 losses tells you they don't belong in. We're not talking about 2 games. We're talking about the consistency of a season. I can make an argument that there's some teams behind Texas that the eye test has been better than. The team right in front of them, the eye test has been far better the whole season in Georgia Tech than it has for the University of Texas. The eye test, and that's not the one. My point is that with this, I am with you. I would rather have you tell me, okay, here's the 2 teams out of the top 15 with an outside shot, that here's the things that have to happen. Like you do in the playoff picture. This team has to beat this team, get help from this team. If they do, then there's a chance. There's no chance for the University of Houston to get in the playoff.
Right.
They're not getting in, right? And to my mind, I mean, I haven't looked at the schedule, but how in the world is Arizona State making this playoff? This isn't last year. They're not. They're the 25th ranked team. Everybody quit and miss a team bus for the next 2 weeks and they get in. It's not happening. So, yes, I am with you. Overload me with the teams that can get in, not the teams that can't.
Right.
That's my whole thing.
You know, for example, just talk about my Wolverines. Okay, they're still on the graphic, let's say, because they play Ohio State in 2 weeks. You go beat Maryland this week, take care of business, and then you go beat Ohio State. Yeah, maybe some things have to happen in front of them, but there's still that chance that they get in. And that's where I'm saying take off Tennessee, Missouri, Illinois. I don't need those teams on the rankings because all it tells me is trying to put crappy, I don't want to say crappy, but teams that aren't have a chance at the playoffs in the ranking tells me you're trying to, prop up
it's a made for TV event, right? Of course.
You're trying to prop up your SEC or Indiana because of their big win over Illinois or, whatever it is. It just takes that whole thing out of it, in my opinion.
Right. And here's the thing. Sakes, think about it. Here's what I'd like to do. Let's say we were on this, and you were just talking about Michigan. I would like somebody to stand up there and say, here's how Michigan gets in. They got to beat Ohio State. SC's got to beat Oregon. Then Michigan's got to take care of Maryland. The Maryland will win both of theirs. SC's got to beat Oregon, and then USC's got to lose to UCLA. Michigan. Then I can make the argument. There's a legit argument that's how. But if SC beats Oregon and UCLA, and Michigan beats Ohio State and Maryland, it's still going to be hard for Michigan to get in. Right. But here's how they can. You beat Ohio State 59-3. USC will walk off against you. Whatever it is. Now you've explained to me an understandable scenario that says, because if both Michigan and SC both win both of their games, Michigan can't jump USC. They just can't. Now you say, well, could they, Sean? SC beat Oregon, but SC and beat Michigan, but SC also lost to Notre Dame. You can give me all the crap. And Oregon's lower rated. They're 7th and Ohio State's 1. So we're going to trump because Ohio State's ranked higher than Oregon is at the time. I get it, but at least you're creating a scenario right now. Give me a scenario that has Missouri in the playoff.
There isn't.
Okay, so why are we talking about that?
Right.
That's
exactly.
my point.
Talk to me about them in the playoff.
Give me who's got of these teams outside of number 12. What has to happen for the layman that doesn't know for Miami Hurricanes to get in? What has to happen? Well, of course, a BYU loss or a University of Utah loss. I get it. But now tell me, well, does University of Miami have to dominate their next 2 opponents? Is it the quality of the point spread? Because if you're telling me that as a committee member telling my team that, guess what I'm going to do, Segs? I'm going to try to score 60 on you if I'm up by 30.
Right.
I'm going to try to bury you. I'm going to try to rub it in if it's the distance of a win. Once again, we're having a conversation. Why? Because we really don't know the depth of their conversation. And every year the committee members may change, but you know what else changes? Their approach to what the criteria is.
Right.
And to me, listen, it's not, how many yards does it take to get a first down? 10.
Right.
I know the criteria. You got to get 10 yards. If you get 9, guess what? You didn't get a first down. So what are give me I need to know the priorities. Yeah, winning, but winning how? Do you know if I said, does a 6-3 win by USC over Oregon more impressive than a 6-3 win by Michigan over Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
10-3. I mean, so what is it? And maybe I'm wrong, but I can look at some of these teams. And in truth, watching Texas, I know we use them as an example. They don't belong. They haven't done enough this year for me to even consider. If they beat A&M 21-17, it doesn't matter to me.
No.
There's too far to go unless 12 teams in front of them get hammered, right? It just doesn't matter. And so there's teams more worthy of performance-based that would get in. Pains me to say because I love Sark and Texas, but you know what? We're already at 3 losses. Texas should have 0 shot to get in unless everybody else decides not to show up in front of them.
Right. Well, and then you want to talk about criteria, and the criteria we do know is, so technically by these rankings, it's the top 10 teams. And then when you go to 11, technically it's Miami right now is in the playoff because they're the highest ranked ACC team. So now whoever wins the ACC gets that spot. And now you have Tulane, who's a 2-loss group of 5 team who lost to UTSA by 22 points, are your 12 seed, and they would face Texas Tech in the first round. So now we go to a whole different layer. Tulane, I just mentioned. John Sumrall, you loved what he had to say. We have the video, so we'll play it here in a second. But when it comes to this, do group of 5 teams deserve to be in? Well, let's hear from Tulane's head coach, who's in the playoff, and this is what he had to say.
And real quick, Segs, before you go to it, my whole thing is, which leads to this, because if you win a conference in a Power 4 and a group of 5, if you win it, should you be an automatic in?
Right.
Do you like that? Do you like that? I want the 12 best teams, dude. I just do. Let's hear what he has to say. This is Tulane's head coach.
I mean, I'll just be very candid. There's some days I feel like we're one of the bottom 25 teams in the country watching us play. So, you know, if we want to start feeling comfortable or casual about somebody wanting to vote us in the top 25 teams, there must be a lot of bad football going on if we're one of the top 25 teams. So, I mean, there must be some really bad football played right now in college football. So, I don't know. We're average. We're an average team. We get every 6 or 7 days, depending on the schedule of the week, to promote ourselves or embarrass ourselves. We've done that before. So we better get ready to play. I think I watched this practice today. I think we're average.
So I mean that
him.
Is the coach of the team right now who is number 12 in the playoff that will play Texas Tech if the season ended today, as we say. And he's telling the College Football Playoff Committee, my team's average. How are we in this playoff right now? And if you just want to
look, you're including because not where they're ranked, Segs, but because they win their conference or group of 5 like Miami winning they are, correct? Guys.
So it's the highest group of 5 ranking. So they are above North Texas and James Madison, who both sit at 9-1. Tulane has 2 losses. One's to Ole Miss, lost by 35, and then as I mentioned, they lost to UTSA by 22. So, I mean, should North Texas and James Madison have an argument saying, we've only lost 1 game. We're still, just a group of 5. So how does the committee determine those 3 teams? And then it goes back to, would you rather just have the 12 best teams in the country in the playoff, or do you like having a group of 5 and forcing a ACC champion Miami in there this year? It changes every year.
The 12 best teams. I do. I just do. I hate to say it because I look, man, that I would hire. I want a coach like that lead my program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure some of his players and people in the organization are like, damn, that's harsh. But it's fact. He sees his team every day, far more than you and I do. Watches them practice, watches them play. And he's probably a little bit hyperbolic when he says at times I feel like, I'm sure on the practice field when guys are jumping off sides like we're a bottom 25 team. He knows that's not the case, but he's making a point. And the truth of the matter is Tulane's got zero shot to go through the playoff if they get in. When I say that's not fair, truthfully, because if they're in, the numbers say they have a chance.
0.01%
Right. So they're not winning the championship.
Right.
And you and I both know that. So with that in mind, does it mean they're not a good football program? Not at all. Does it mean that coach isn't great? Not at all. Does it mean they got an uphill battle? That's exactly what it means. We got to the point where we wanted to force feed the underdog down our throat. And the fact of the matter, the winner of the group of 5 this year, or as we sit now, does not deserve to be in the top 12 teams. Sorry, North Texas. Sorry, James Madison and you alumni. Hell, right now, my team at SC that is not a group of 5, it's in the Big Ten, does not deserve to be in the 12. And they're not. A couple victories and may look at it different. Today, they're not. And at times, I've watched their team play. Times I've felt like they should be, that they're an average football team at times as well. His coach is right. I go back and forth. Well, man, if you go win your thing, but if you win your conference at times, if you do win your conference, does that necessarily mean you've been the best team? Do you want a full body of work or one body of work, Sags? I mean, what are we looking for? Full body, right? Full season. Should game 2 matter as much as game 10?
Yes.
In my mind, it should. I don't know why we think middle of November is different than the second week in November. Oh, we'll give them a hall pass because they're just started. The game fucking matters.
Right.
They all matter. So for me, I want the 12 best teams. No offense. Utah, BYU going. Now Tulane may upset somebody. When I say they're not going to win the championship, doesn't mean they can't win a game. I'm talking about where you go through a legitimate chance. And if we go through that again, if Virginia plays Tulane, who are you picking? If they were to play right now,
Virginia.
Okay. If Arizona State plays Tulane on a neutral site, who are you picking?
Is Sam Levitt playing?
He's playing.
Yes, then I'm taking Arizona State.
Oh, that's another whole story. You get there, you transfer there, and now after you've done good there, now you want bigger money. There is absolutely zero when I talk about buy into a program. It's all about money now, but that's another whole story. So, but yeah, so my point is, Segs, is Tulane one of the 12 best teams in the country?
No.
Should they be in the playoff as we sit right now?
No.
Oh, give me the 12 best teams. If you want the best football, 12 best teams. Now here's the problem, is getting me the right committee members to choose the 12 best teams.
Right.
That's where the problem comes in.
And that's where it's even hard too. I mean, I was sitting here and again, I don't watch ESPN First Take and all that stuff, but I'm scrolling through Twitter and I see this, video of Stephen A. Smith in First Take. And it's got, the new host, Shay Cornett, who is, took Molly Kiram's spot. She's basically arguing about Notre Dame. Her husband went to Notre Dame, and she's a Notre Dame fan. She's arguing for Notre Dame, and she is talking to Paul Feinbaum, saying that the SEC, there's an SEC bias in the committee, and you got Feinbaum saying
there's a Notre Dame bias, you mean?
You got Feinbaum saying, no, there's not. And then he's saying there's a Notre Dame bias. And she's saying, no, you're not. And I'm like, those are the two biggest biases there is. Like
every year,
Notre
and
Dame,
it's a no-brainer.
And it's the SEC.
Of course it is.
So, I mean,
and you can't argue.
Like, yeah,
that's as close to a fact as there is.
Hilarious.
No doubt. Now, one thing I will say, when you say, should a group of 5 winner get in? Sure. If they're one of the 12 best teams.
Yeah.
That just because you listen, if the third best ACC team, let's just say that they're 9-2, 10, didn't make the conference, whatever, they had a big year, they lost a game, they're not in, and they're ranked a little lower and than the group of 5 team. But in truth, do I like the fact that if Tulane was undefeated and playing great football, that we'd say, yeah, they deserve to get in? I listen. just because you won your somebody's going to win a conference if there's somebody below them is better than them in that conference. You know this, right? Say they may not have won the conference championship, but on any given day, Ohio State, Michigan, they could split 10 games, right? If Tulane plays Ohio State 10 times, how many times Tulane win it?
None.
If they're lucky, one upset, maybe, but more than likely not.
Yeah.
So for me, I have no problem with you going in, leaving it open that a Tulane or a James Madison can make the playoff.
Right.
But there's going to be a little extra on them because their schedule is not going to be as tough. They're going to be looked at a little different because they're not playing the SEC or Big Ten schedule. But the eye test, they're beating teams by 30. I'm okay with the team getting the underdog looker of Tulane getting in. Hell, I don't have a problem with that. But when your own coach says we're not a top 25 team, we're very average, and we're going to put them in just like circumstance because they're the best of the group of five record-wise and how they won their conference, or if it turns out that way, the bottom line is they're not one of the top 12 best teams.
Yeah.
But if they were, I got no issue with the little guy. I call him the little guy, but a non-power 4 team getting in.
Yeah.
But this year it ain't it. It just isn't. And it's not, we don't put teams in to win one game. You put teams in to go and can you win the championship? And right now, they're not one of the 12 best teams in America, regardless of how this system's set up.
Well, the best part about this is we get to do it all again next Wednesday when they change something else because of Texas Tech's linebackers aren't good enough, so they drop them a spot.
They're dropping. Please quit telling me that they're downgrading Alabama. Downgrade Alabama on the fact that they got beat by a team that came to Oklahoma, put it on them at home. Don't come into here and tell me part of your criteria is that you didn't like Alabama's run game when you wouldn't know the difference between a gut play and an outside check with me. Stop it.
Exactly. All right, we're going to move on to the NFL. We're going to talk the Chiefs. But before we do that, Sean, tell us about our newest advertiser with us. That's Augusta
new,
Precious
big,
Metals.
and relevant to this, and I love it, is Augusta Precious Metals. We're so grateful to have this partner involved with us, and blessings and prayers from them. And we thank you not only to all our advertisers, but to our newest one, Augusta Precious Metals. And what a difference maker they are. And, watching the guys when we watch sports every week reminds me in football and in life, the clock's always ticking, guys. We know that when it's late in the game, you don't freeze. You got to stay calm and make a smart move. And we all don't do that. But you need to if you're going to get to the next level and continue to elevate and move forward to your goals and dreams and doing the things you want. And honestly, that's how I've been looking at what's going on in the country. I think we all have. When we go through election years or change and stuff that just grabs us, well, that's what we've been doing. How about our country now? We're $38 trillion in debt, heading towards $40 trillion in 2026. Now, that kind of pressure hits everyone, maybe not to the trillion, but in your life, it's relative to how it hits you, especially folks trying to retire with some confidence. Wouldn't that be nice, that peace of mind you get? That's why I've been talking with the team, not only for me, but for this, and having them on board with us to educate you guys about what's out there. It's Augusta Precious Metals, Augusta Precious Metals. They're the ones helping people understand how to keep part of their savings in something real, tangible, gold in your hand, so it's not all tied to what Washington does next. What a miserable feeling to have it out of your hands on the dollar when you can hold gold in your hands securely with precious metals and give you the confidence moving forward and to secure it up. Listen, Augusta Precious Metals has put together, in short, a free guide called the $40 trillion Threat Report. You see it right there. And it just explains what's going on and what options you've got. We're not telling you, we're giving you the options at Augusta Precious Metals to create security and confidence to you moving forward so you have an understanding. The best thing that you have that they can never take away is your intelligence and your education. And that's what we're trying to do by texting Sean the 35052. It's the free guide, the $40 trillion Threat Report, and it just explains and educates you on what's next. You got to look into this, folks. I was one of those late to the party on precious metals. And as I start to look and listen, it's going to continue to rise. 26 and 27 are going to be great years for precious metals and gold. If you want to see it, there's a link in my description. Again, there it is. You text Sean to 35052, and they'll send it right over. It links right there in my description. Take a look when you have a minute. It's worth understanding the game we're all playing in, and confidence and peace of mind does matter. And so do precious metals and gold. They are headed this way. And that's exactly what you want to hear. The $40 trillion Threat Report, go in there. It's a free guide. And then go in there and text Sean, SEAN, to 35052. And I think that you're going to find out that precious metals are going to change the game for you, and gold tangible in your hand. Again, that's Augusta Precious Metals. Text Sean to 35052. Nothing better than good being educated on stuff, Segs. And there you go. And Augusta's doing that. And so grateful to have them on board.
Yes, very, very grateful. All right, Sean, let's switch over to the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs. We kind of teased this yesterday. Sit at 5-5. No shot. I mean, technically they have a shot, but in reality, they have no shot to win the division, in my opinion. And in your opinion, you said it yesterday. Has the Chiefs' reign of Super Bowl, like big time Super Bowl threat, ended? Has the window closed?
No, as far as a big time threat, I'm looking at 2026. Or 2025. Listen, they could make two decisions in 2026. You got Mahomes and Andy Reid. Good place to start. At certain positions, they're going to have to get younger. They just are. Mm-hmm. And they've abandoned the run a little bit, but they use the screen game and a lot of that to be an extension of the run game. There's things that are wrong with them. I still think they're hungry, but listen, human nature for most teams would have disappeared and got fat and happy even before this has been. What's it, 8 or 9 years in a row they've won the division? For years they've been in the AFC Championship game every year.
I think it's 7 for the
7
AFC
or 8,
Championship.
right, and maybe 8 for the division or 9.
Yeah,
so pushing like a decade. Yeah. So here's what it is: has the window closed? Absolutely not. I compare it to like a team like the Astros. The window hasn't closed, but you keep losing people, or somebody goes somewhere else, or somebody gets old, or you're not continuing to turn over. And this front office has been phenomenal. Then eventually it catches up to you. You got to retool. But the Astros window didn't close. The Dodgers window, the Yankees window, they're still open. The question is, can you close the window on and go get another one? Not close it to you getting better, but close it. Here we go. We're still in this. So they're not going away. You got to retool. Good teams know how to withstand this, like the Patriots did for 20 years. It's hard. But the Chiefs are in no position to have to go fire sale and get rid of it. You got the best quarterback since Tom Brady on the planet, and you got a head coach that's a Hall of Famer and got championships. They're still good. And it's amazing we're saying this because first 4 weeks, Chiefs aren't very good. 5 weeks. Then there was about a 5-week stretch we're saying they're playing as good as anybody in football. 3 weeks ago, they were the odds-on favorite in Vegas to be the Super Bowl champion. And now we're saying, is the window closed? No, the window's not closed. Now, the window is closed for this year's winning the division because the Broncos aren't losing 5 of their next 6 games. I can tell you that. And the Chiefs would have to go win them all, and they're 4 games down, and they've lost one of the head-to-heads to the Broncos. It's not happening. But that doesn't mean you can't be a wild card and go on and win a Super Bowl, because I know one thing. Of all the teams that are going to be in this, nobody's got more postseason moxie than the Chiefs do, because they are used to it, and they've seen the movie 1,000 times with a head coach, a great defensive coordinator. Now, you got to get Chris Jones playing better. He's got to be more consistent. You've got to get Kelsey's elevated some. Mahomes is doing his thing. So is the window closed on a championship run? I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl this year, but anybody who thinks the window's closed, they got no shots, wrong. And this is just when the Chiefs get good again. When you start to tell them they're shitty, they're done. They're not winning the division, but they're going to try to play like they're winning the division. Denver or the Chargers got some work to do. Denver more than likely going to win that division. But if you're saying the Chiefs can't get in, this will be just the time when they go 5-1 or 5-2 or 6-1. I think they've played 10 games. Yeah. And then they go on, and they win, and all of a sudden they get to a 10 or 11 wins, they get in. And then watch how everybody starts to talk about it. Ooh, the Chiefs are a dangerous team. But when you've got the foundation of what they have, of course they're still dangerous. We left the Baltimore Ravens for dead, and right now if I asked you, you'd tell me probably that the Baltimore Ravens make you as nervous as anybody if they get into the playoff. And they don't have the same postseason moxie the Chiefs do. So 2 of the best teams, we left them for dead this year, brought the Chiefs back, resuscitated them. Boom, they get beat by Denver, and all of a sudden they suck again. Baltimore sucks, they get healthy, and all of a sudden they're great again. I'm not burying them. I am telling you they're not winning the division. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you said, Sean, you got $100,000 and you have to bet it, I would bet that they're still going to make the playoffs. I would. I think that they're still good enough to get in. 9 may get you in, 10 will get you in, and then we'll have the conversation about if a Super Bowl window is closed. I think they've got a legitimate chance to go make the playoffs still, even with their record the way they're doing it right now.
All right, well, let's go to another AFC team. Who are the Buffalo Bills? Let's look at their last 6 weeks. 6 weeks ago, they lost to the Patriots 23-20 at home. Then they go to Atlanta and lose by 10. Then they play the Panthers, who are actually better than people realize. I think they're sitting at 6-5. They destroy them 40-9. Then they play the Chiefs, who we just talked about, beat them by a touchdown. Then they lose to the Dolphins, and then they come back and beat the Bucks. Who are the Buffalo Bills right now?
They're exactly who you just described. They're a Dow Joneser, to coin a great Dick Vitale phrase. Dow Joneser, baby. They're up and down. I'll tell you who they are. If their quarterback doesn't play great, they are not going to play in February. I'm just telling you. That's a heavy burden to bear, and you could say that about every team, but the truth is you don't have to. There are some teams in this league, if the quarterback plays good, that they can still win. Denver Broncos are winning. Quarterback's playing good at times. Sometimes you're like, oh, looks like a young quarterback. Sean Payton's a magician calling plays, and a mad scientist calling plays, but they're winning. You tell me this: if I tell you Josh Allen's going to play average, go look at the statistics can be over, a little bit misleading. Go look at when he hasn't played great, and then tell me their record. Did he play great against Miami?
Nope.
Did he play great against Atlanta?
Nope.
Nope. And they stay in it, run game, get a few turnovers. And while, yes, Stafford needs to play great, but I think Stafford played average for him last week. They beat up on Seattle because the other quarterback threw it to the other team 4 times. And he's had a really good year too. So I'll tell you who Buffalo is. They're an inconsistent tease. They're the one who get you all bricked up. Sometimes they finish, and sometimes you just got to hit the sheets. I'll see you tomorrow morning, type of thing. It's a fact. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean,
that's a good way to put
it. It is.
Yeah.
So they tease you to the point, and then when they do, and then it's like, damn, that wasn't a tease. That was a 4-hour session. Great. And then it's like, oh, this is going to be enough. Oh, what a bummer, man. Or the phone ringer, you got to go somewhere and gotten away. Whatever it is, if we're comparing it to the physicality of a sex life or the intimacy. But in real life, they are that. Segs, you described them when you told me about the way they win and the way they lose and the inconsistency. When they're playing good, they'll beat anybody anywhere in the parking lot. When they're playing bad, anybody will beat them anywhere, including the parking lot. Not every team's like that. Some teams can play. Philadelphia can play decent, and they still are finding ways to win because of everything. If Josh Allen, there's nobody right now. There's other quarterbacks who say if he doesn't play well, we can't win. But there's nobody who means more to the success of his team than Josh Allen does right now to theirs. There's Lamar in it. Okay, if I played the other quarterback in Philadelphia the way some are talking, some think that you can still win without Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, even though he's been nothing but a winner since he's come into this league and plays big in big games. But right now, from my vantage point, the Buffalo Bills have got to have Josh Allen play great football to get where they're going. Not good, great football. And there is a difference.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch that team down the stretch and see, because they do sit at 7-3. They're easily into the playoffs right now. Now they got to continue to win to make it. But
who's better right now? You'd pick Buffalo probably six because of Josh Allen. But if both quarterbacks play the same, both good, it's on a neutral site. Are the New England Patriots playing better football all around than the Buffalo Bills are right now?
Yes.
Full body of work. Forget the record, just the eye test. They are.
Yes.
Josh Allen, it took 6 scores by him, 3 throws and 3 runs to beat a good Tampa Bay team. So I love Bud. I picked them. I think it was them versus the Rams in the Super Bowl. I think, Segs, for me. I know it was Buffalo in the AFC and for them to win it, and that this would be Josh Allen's year. But right now, hell, he plays like he did against Tampa. They're going to be hanging around in an AFC Championship game. But if he throws 3 touchdowns and the rest of the team doesn't play great, they may be in trouble. That's just the reality.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see how that continues on. We did get official word. Shedeur Sanders will start next week against the Raiders, I believe it is. Dylan Gabriel is out in concussion protocol, so he will not start next week. So Shedeur will get his first start in the NFL.
It's a shitty team, so go let it rip.
A shitty team. And as it says here, he will get all the first team reps. So I don't know who the backup is. I don't know who the backup is. He doesn't matter anymore. Now we're
that's
just on to Shedeur.
Wait a second, Segs. Well, I don't understand. Why wouldn't
Doesn't matter, Sean.
Why wouldn't you get the backup ready, according to some of these people on Twitter? Why not get the backup ready to play? Because you're starting a rookie who's never started a game in his life in the NFL. Shouldn't I get the other guy ready just in case? No. Shedeur deserves snaps because he hasn't got any. You got to give him the best chance to be successful. Well, no shit. Isn't that what they did with Dylan Gabriel? See how the script changes? Of course, you should be giving Shedeur Sanders all the work. He needs it, just like you should have been giving Dylan Gabriel, just like you should be giving Drake May, just like you should be giving any of them. You can't play on, well, what if Drake May pulls a hammy? Yeah. Well, what if my aunt had balls? She'd be my uncle. So that's not going to be the case. So I don't understand why it's good for one but not good for the other. You're exactly right. Now, we got to give him the first team reps. Well, why? What if he's struggling and throws 3 picks in the first half against that awful Raider team? Or he comes up with a hammy because he's taken so many hits because Cleveland's line can't block me and you, and he gets hurt. This is malpractice. You can't go into a game with a backup not getting reps. Oh, really?
But here's what it'll be, Sean. Let's say that happens.
Friggin' stupid, man. It's
here's what they would say if that happens, where Shedeur gets hurt again. Let's say Max Crosby takes him out of the game with a big hit like Dylan Gabriel took. They will say, Kevin Stefanski was calling plays to get Shedeur Sanders hurt. That will come from actual NFL people on TV, because Kevin Stefanski does not want Shedeur Sanders to succeed. We heard that straight from Cam Newton's mouth.
Didn't you know Stefanski wants to lose on purpose so he can get fired from a $3 or $4 or $5 million job?
Just so a 5th-round quarterback is not good in the NFL.
So I can appease to everybody's love for the Shedeur Sanders, who most 5th-round quarterbacks that are rookies, nobody even remembers they were 5th-round or rookies while they're on the thing because they're not playing and nobody cares. They're not getting any reps. So I just don't know, Segs. Why isn't the backup getting first-team reps this week? Why? Because the protocol of the NFL is trying to get a guy ready to go win. So in this case, man, it's amazing how the story will change when it's flipped script. Now, I got news for you. To sustain being a starter in the league's a hard thing.
Yeah.
He should play well against the Raiders. Raiders aren't any good. And Cleveland's not either. But you're exactly right. If he doesn't play well, it'll be the guys up front. Receivers weren't getting open. And Kevin Stefanski was calling plays to lose the game, so Shedeur didn't look good. Do people outside of building really think that coaches think that way? Front offices might want to tank for the first pick. I've never been around a coach who did, ever. Because if that's in your DNA, you're not going to win many games as a coach along the way anyway. So I hope Shedeur plays well. This isn't even a Shedeur Sanders thing. This is all the people talking around him. I hope he plays well. I do. But the same people that were bitching about him not getting first-team reps because he's backing up a rookie, shouldn't you get the other guy ready because the guy's a rookie? What if he gets hurt? Are going to be the same ones that want Shedeur to get all the first-team reps this week to get him ready. And they will not be saying the same thing if the backup has to come in because poor performance or getting hurt. They'll say, what a bummer, man. Shedeur deserved better. Yet the backup didn't get any work. See how that goes? And this isn't a Shedeur thing. This is all the dumbasses surrounding that are like, they want to create something for one guy that they don't want to create for the other guy. See how that works? This is the most ignorant conversation we have in the country when it comes to sports about why we're doing what we do with backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, Mike Vittery says people complaining are casuals. No, that's why we are so annoyed right now, because it's not just casuals. It is people on TV or in the NFL media that have big followings that are spewing the shit we're saying right now.
And maybe those people are casuals because that's how they prepare.
And maybe they are. Yeah. But when it's Cam Newton, who has an NFL MVP, when it's, Emmanuel Acho, who has this huge platform and was an NFL player, when it's Josina Anderson, who talks to every NFL player alive every single week, and they're out here spewing the bullshit that they spew each week. I mean, they already put out videos, all 3 of them, basically making excuses for why Shedeur is going to suck this Sunday.
They're getting out in front of it.
This Sunday, because the Browns aren't any good and the offensive line's terrible. He doesn't have any weapons.
This is just to give you the free meal.
When Dylan Gabriel sucked, it was, where's Shedeur? Shedeur would win with this team. And that's why So
that's why I don't take any of those for the most. I won't say any of them. The majority of them, or a lot of them on TV. That's why I don't take them that serious, because the common sense of the situation, as opposed to clicks, just never clicks. I wish that they understood the common sense of the position and what goes on, and I just don't. Cam's a smart guy. He knows, and I understand Derek Anderson probably did get a few snaps, but when you're taking all the hits, give him a couple. But I'm talking about there's a difference between me coming in when Warren Moon takes a break to get Gatorade and handing off during team drill to get a one snap, as opposed to splitting the ones. No, because most number ones want the work and they're going to get what they want. You just don't get it. But the excuses will start to flow in. Then if he plays well, which I hope Shedeur does, because once again, this isn't Shedeur Sanders. This is all the periphery speaking for him or about him or about the situation. If he plays well, you know what they're going to say? Should have been the starter from the get-go. Mm-hmm. See what happens when you get first team reps. That's what they're going to say. Well,
no, they're going to say, why wasn't he the first pick in the draft?
That's coming too. If it already had started, you see that flat route he threw to a wide open guy. Now that's epic. Well, I hope he's successful. But they have the periphery people have created. They've painted Shedeur Sanders, even though they think they're talking in a good way. They've painted him into a bad corner. They're not even allowing to let him do his thing and try to go, because everybody's going to have an excuse for why he did or didn't. The bottom line, he's a backup quarterback who really was a third string quarterback and has moved up 2 slots. It's football will find you. We're going to find out how prepared he is. And backups don't get first team reps on a regular basis anywhere. Even if they come once in a while, there may be an outlier. They're not regular. But man, we're not even going to know who the backup is right now. I don't know who the backup is this week. It's got to be Bailey Zappi, right?
Yeah, Bailey Zappi's on the practice squad. They haven't elevated him yet, so I'm assuming.
Okay, so whoever it is,
they didn't bring in any other quarterbacks. I think Zappi's the only other one on the roster.
Okay, so are we going to complain why Bailey Zappi didn't get a rookie starting segs? Are we going to complain that he's not getting reps with the first team? No, he shouldn't get any reps. Shedeur Sanders needs him, just like Dylan Gabriel needed him, just like Jackson Dart needs him, just like Sam Darnold still needs him.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Before we get out of here, this story I saw yesterday, and then I saw it again today, and I'm just like, I mean, what a fall from grace. Your boy, Bill Belichick, photographed at an adult cheerleading competition, or a cheerleading competition with his girlfriend, who's 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, I think her last name is. She's the member of a co-ed adult cheerleading team that was competing in Raleigh. And there's Bill supporting his girl, just let's go. Come on.
Do they play this week? They do, right?
I'm assuming they do.
I had some guy on Twitter say, who's the girl to Belichick's left? Not Belichick, but his girl's left. Go back to the other picture right there. To her left, our right, saying, what is Sean Unfiltered doing there? I'm like, get the hell out of here. I'm hotter than he is. I'm much better looking. And I wanted to say, well, you're never going to catch me giving anybody. I'm not going to be the bottom of the pyramid at a cheerleading competition for dudes and chicks. Sorry.
Or you could say, that's not me. Just looking at that picture, you could say, I didn't know Trevor Lawrence cut his hair.
Right, on the left side. That's exactly right.
Yeah, the guy on
the right side, what's Kyle Whittingham doing? Right?
Yeah, exactly. The left side's like, how old do they let these guys be on this co-ed cheerleading team?
Okay, I won't bury the lead. I just want to say, no, that isn't me. I'm not there.
I think it might be.
What I do. That's not me. Yeah, I flew in and flew back because I wanted to make sure that I could be. I'm the guy at the bottom of the pyramid that throws you up and catches you too when we're doing that. You can go back to Bill. I listen. Some guys go through midlife crisis, dude, and I never thought I'd say this about him. I understand supporting your girl. I do. Your significant other, your wife, your daughter, your kids. I get it. If it was his daughter, I'd fully understand.
Yes, 100%.
This is a grown adult. You should probably say, "Hey, honey, we got a game plan we're putting in."
Hey, they have their rival. They play Duke this weekend.
Okay,
this Saturday at 2:00.
I understand the support. She'll video it come by. Bill would have never done this. Did you ever see this in 20 years when he was with the Patriots?
No, I don't think he left the place for 20 years. He was either at the stadium or the practice facility. I don't think he ever left. I don't think he lived at home. I think he just lived in the facility.
What happened to Bill's masculinity?
It's gone.
What happened to his focus on team? And now, my offended dude, I love Belichick. Friggin' love him. But since he's got to North Carolina, he is doing things he never did when he was winning. Never. I understand perspective change. You got a girl, you like it, it's right. Great. Then maybe coaching's not for you anymore. But I understand balance. You got to have balance when you're at the bottom of the pyramid. You got to have balance in life. I understand balance. But you also got to understand that in Raleigh-Durham, that area is about 12 miles separate, 3 schools, Duke, North Carolina, North Carolina State. But, and I understand if it was during non-team meetings or stuff, but if it's during a 7 o'clock or if the coaches are at the building, I would imagine the head coach has got to be at the building getting ready for a game. But maybe that's just different now. Maybe he's turned it over to the assistants, and I'm going to go support my girl at an adult cheerleading competition, co-ed. Next thing you know, Bill's going to be wearing tights and throwing her up and doing it himself. Watch. That's coming. We saw him practice the moves on the beach. Remember in the bicycle stance he had on the beach? This pains me to talk about, dude. It does, because I never would have thought about just cutting his Nizutskis off at the thing. I just the distraction that creeps in. With balance is good, distraction isn't. And I don't know. Is he all in? I don't know. Maybe he is, but it doesn't feel like to me like this is the Bill Belichick I knew that was, well, single-minded, and that single mind was going and winning championships. It just looks different to me.
It's insane.
It's
I mean,
it is.
It's incredible that we have these pictures of Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, who's part of this cheerleading team, which, I mean, kudos to her. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not, bashing her.
Yeah,
for being
if she loves
team.
it, go do it. If she's passionate, have at it.
But you have to know, if you're Bill Belichick, if you're Jordan, you have to know this is going to become a big story, which it has. You're seeing it everywhere, that this is going to be talked about. And
Like
I'm just shocked he's not in a sweatshirt or something that's bedazzled with their little logo on it.
But he is in a hooded sweatshirt, which is
that's how it feels like things are heading for him. Like he's got to wear the sweatshirt and everything.
Let me go to the other side. Okay, she's got what she likes to do, and God bless her. Everybody does. You should have something that makes you passionate in life. We all should, more than one thing. He supports her, which I give him credit for, because he's asked people to support him his whole career. I get it. She's a little younger than him, needless to say. I'm trying to take the other side just to be fair, like Republican debate, Democrat debate.
This Bill?
Listen, he's in his 70s. Here's what I don't get. Maybe are we the assholes, the media and all of us, for making fun of this because he is supporting his girl? But okay. Oh, now I'm not talking about the age difference. See, you're there now.
Her age,
right? That's another whole topic conversation. It does look like he's there to support his daughter, which he should be. And think about this: if it was his daughter, we'd be applauding him for leaving the building and going to support his daughter, as he should. It's a significant other who's old enough to be his daughter or young enough to be his daughter, and he's supporting
his granddaughter
as his significant other. That's exactly right. Are we the assholes because we just let the man live and date who he wants because she's legal, and so is he? And he's sacrificing time to get out of the building, go in for a couple-minute routine, and then go back to the building. Maybe he went and studied tape till 2 a.m. Because I know coaches that used to go in and you go home, Bruce Arians, turn the light, get home and have dinner with your family. Maybe this is dinner time. Bill's going to visit his girl. All right, I'm trying, Segs, to give the guy the benefit of the doubt of supporting. Now, if we're going to the age thing, I guess when we all turn in our mid-70s and you're chasing a 30-year-old, then we'll talk about that too. But the time being, the optics probably aren't very good. But, okay, let me ask you this. If that was his daughter, would you be mad at him for watching her routine, or would you applaud?
Not at all. Not at all.
So are you mad because because of the age distance where he's at? No, because he left the complex, or is it just the look of the age difference? What's the deal?
To be honest, I think what it is, and I think it's this way for everybody. If this was just his girlfriend and we never really heard from her, and then he pops up here at a thing, we'd just be like, oh, that's kind of funny, but whatever. But it's because of all the bullshit she's pulled at North Carolina with the TV show, being on the sidelines, talking to him during games or during warm-ups.
You think she's too invasive into his career?
Yes, she is just, it's like she's putting herself out there for her own fame, I guess is the way if you want to put it that way.
When I look at it, I look at you hate love. You hate a man's passion for his significant other.
I'm not saying he's wrong for, doing what he's doing to her.
It's the holiday season, and my co-host. It's the holiday season, and my co-host hates love, hates Hallmark stories.
Hey,
this is a Hallmark story, Six.
You're the one that just about 5 minutes ago said he basically had his nuts cut off by this chick.
Was that me who said that?
Yes. I believe you said
guys on the Hallmark channel have the same thing. They overcame it. They overcame it. Okay. The reason why I've never
watched the Hallmark Channel, Sean. I don't know what those movies are like.
I sit on the couch eating ice cream and crying during these Hallmark movies. Okay, here's the deal, man. I got to come clean.
This is about
not on the age difference. That's between Bill and Jordan. I guess I feel bad because all the years that the guy was locked down when it came to discipline, the same things that she does is probably something that he would have, if it was doing a player of his. He would have said, well, no, we got a meeting. You can't miss it. I mean, I think. But maybe he's had a shift of paradigms in life. Maybe love matters more than a victory over Duke. I don't know. Maybe he's able to compartmentalize and do both.
Go hang out on your boat that's called Seven Rings or whatever it is and let her be in a bikini and just float around the Mediterranean or something. I don't need you coaching North Carolina, being at cheerleading competitions, and have her on the sideline asking for ice cream money. I don't need any of this.
He cares about his significant other, Segs. I'm mortified that you hate Hallmark endings. It really hurts me.
Yeah, I do. That's
hurts me.
You
can have a Hallmark ending and still be a macho football coach, Segs. The fact that you said that they literally cut his nizuts off is really hurtful to me.
You said it. I just repeated what you said because now you're trying to.
That's called supporting your significant other. Okay, you hate love. I don't get it. God, you hate love. That's all right, though.
If my wife came to me and said, I'm joining a co-ed cheerleading team, first of all, I'd say,
your bitch ass would be there with a wool USC cheerleader turtleneck on, throwing the girls all around.
First of all, I ain't going to wear that.
Celebrate when it's done.
Shit.
That's just cheerleading squad in the country. Don't hate.
Oh, okay? Sure. Whatever. All right. That's enough for today. Bill, you've lost it.
Bill, don't worry about Segs. He
just retire and go away. Retire and go away. Go live in the Mediterranean the rest of your life with her. Just walk away from North Carolina.
I'll tell you, dude, he's a guy who's created balance in his life, Segs. His motivation. Dude, that's what you need. Go talk to somebody about balance, Segs. It's important.
That's what the College Football Playoff Committee wants.
Can we do the age? What's the age difference again? He's in his 70s and she's 33.
It's like 50 years. He was 50 when she was born.
Well, are we jealous that he's pulling young and maybe some other 75-year-old can't?
No, not the way she acts. I'm not jealous of that.
Bill, I want you to check with me, 742 option week, 60 outside. On two. Ready? Okay. You got
You got to be running that bang post on the side.
No pun intended.
It's time to go. We're gone. We've lost it. It's over.
Yeah,
it's Wednesday. We're halfway through this week and we've lost it. I don't even know what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Why did you do that to me at the end of the show?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know one thing stayed consistent. He's got a gray ass hoodie on though, doesn't he?
Always. Yes.
Yep, damn right he does.
Quick bet of the day: Alabama number 11 at Illinois number 8, -3.5 Illinois. Illinois played really good and they can score the ball.
They have, and this game's at Bama.
No, this game is in Chicago.
Oh, okay, that's right. Tournament rise. That's right.
Yep,
okay.
Up at the United Center.
Give me Illinois. Close game. 4 point. I'll take Illinois 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
Got Michigan State both last night and half a point away or whatever it was from the Kansas Duke game. I will. Illinois is a really good program and they're playing good basketball. Give me them by about 4 or 5 tonight.
I want to say
the points.
I'm going to say Alabama just because they want to come back and prove that loss to St. John's. You know, they can bounce back from that. They don't want to lose a second one this early and kind of be looked at as, oh, maybe Alabama's lost a little bit this year. So I think they'll come out and be ready to play, but I think it's going to be a great game. So I guess I'll take the points with Alabama, and I think it'll be fun. We also got UConn, Arizona tonight as well. So 2 really, really
Arizona
college hoops games.
When March gets here, Arizona's got a chance to be, and we know UConn, and then Coach Hurley's been great. This is one hell of a matchup, and the University of Arizona will not go away this year. That is a good basketball team.
Yeah, there is a lot.
I don't want to say sneaky because everybody knows the program's been built pretty good, but
Yeah.
they are a threat to win the whole thing this year.
There is a lot of really good college hoops teams.
We are top heavy, brother. We are.
That's
top
the
heavy.
one cool thing about the transfer portal, I think in college hoops at least, that, I mean, these kids got to go somewhere. And when these top recruits, you know, are freshmen and say they don't get to play, they leave because they kind of get their spot taken by transfers and they go somewhere else and then they become good. And so college hoops right now, I think, is the one college sport benefiting from the transfer portal, because I think it's really changing the way. Now, I still don't like the portal with everything changing so much, but I think with college hoops right now, it's kind of working. I think it'll lose its luster as it goes, but so far it's working.
I don't know CR Christian in the show before we go because I care about our people. I don't know if that's real or not. If you need help, leave a message in the comments with our producer. Leave a message because we don't, you know, you can never tell. I don't know if with these kind of things, if somebody needs help and needs something, I surely would want to know. So.
Oh, there it is. I hadn't scrolled.
Yeah, if it's scroll, I see it. I don't know, but I'm try to pay attention. I love our listeners and our viewers and our followers. If it's not fake or if it's real, I'm not saying it is fake, but you never know. You haven't met somebody on social media. So if it is real, at least let us know how we can help and what it is. If there's a possibility, if there's anything we can do, but I want to make sure we recognize that. And Segs, good luck tonight at your cheerleading competition, man. I hope it works out for you.
I will be at my son's baseball practice, getting them ready.
Oh, just leave for 3 minutes and go. I know you got a routine you've been working on.
No cheerleading competition coming up in my near future. So,
could you imagine if I walk in, dude, and you're wearing like tight joggers, and you got a sweater on and you're going through, you're practicing your routine in your garage, and I'm like, dude, what happened?
I'm so glad.
You know what? No judgment here, Sakes. You're my guy regardless. You'll have a spot to come back to even when you do go finish on the medal stand with your routine. I'm all for it.
So glad my daughter wasn't in cheerleading. She's a volleyball player and a basketball player. We're in basketball season right now, Sean.
There you go. Yeah.
With the baseball practice.
Jock City. I love it, man. Raising them athletes. That's my guy. Love it.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll start getting you ready for the football weekend. We'll take a look at the two big college hoop games tonight. We'll let you know how those fare. And then I'm sure something will happen that we will lead the show off with, because
Shedeur, we're
now
gonna monitor all of his throws with getting ones with the first group like we do in training camp.
Okay.
Wait for that.
Awesome. I look forward to that. We'll break down those every single throw with the ones. Now, if it's a backup, we won't even talk about that throw. If it's a backup wide receiver, we'll just talk about the ones.
No, we only want the ones that are taking first team reps.
That's the only ones that matter. All right, we'll be back. Thanks to Triple E, thanks to Laura, thanks to Bailey as always. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Unpaved Sean Salisbury. We will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Unpaved Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.